These are the television series we'd love to bring back from the dead.
You're that amped about hell? Go there.
Welcome to WatchMojo.com, and today we're counting down our picks for the top 10 classic TV shows that deserve a reboot.
Now you dork.
Forget it. We went through a lot for this.
Shut your mouth, you little girl.
Not a little girl, I'm a bionic woman.
For this list, we ranked the TV series that we'd most want to see make it back to the small screen. If a show was followed by a spin-off series or a movie adaptation, it's still eligible for the list.
I'm a leaf on the wind. Watch how I soar.
However, we're excluding shows that have seen their original concepts rebooted on television, like The Twilight Zone, and shows like Firefly that we would like to see a revival of, but not a reboot, as this would usually mean different actors.
That's 5 times what you paid us for the train job.
Yes, you have had, you say it, good times.
Number 10, Baywatch.
Hey guys, where you been?
Swimming. Hiking.
Romantic place, huh?
We can't argue with getting to watch beautiful actors and actresses run up and down Los Angeles beaches. And that's exactly what we get if this series came back.
Oh, and you're gonna have to change a suit.
What's wrong with it? They say girls get to buy their own suits.
Yeah, but there's no lifeguard patch on it. You got an extra one, don't you?
I can sew the patch on this one.
Where?
During much of its time on the air, Baywatch was among the most watched shows in the world. And the slow-mo shots of gorgeous stars like David Hasselhoff and Pamela Anderson explained why.
What do you think, Mitch?
I think this could be the start of a beautiful friendship.
In fact, it was so popular that they continued the series with Baywatch Hawaii from 1999 to 2001.
So, was that a little over the top?
I think you got their attention.
But while they might want younger stars for a modern reboot, we gotta admit, audiences probably wouldn't be able to resist Pam should she return to our small screens wearing that red swimsuit.
Hey, you okay? Something wrong?
Nothing at vacation wouldn't fix.
Number 9, Freaks and Geeks.
Nobody thinks you're cool, you know.
Trust me, I know.
Before the success of movies like The 40-Year-Old Virgin and Knocked Up, Judd Apatow executive produced a cult favorite with this short-lived sitcom, which featured soon-to-be stars like James Franco,
Greetings, Princess. It is I, Carlos the Dwarf.
Jason Segel, and Seth Rogen.
Disco sucks!
Unfortunately, not everyone realized the comedy drama's greatness at the time, and it was canceled before its first season fully aired.
Knock it off, Blondie. You're gonna blow the speakers.
Oh, I'm sorry, Grandpa. I'll try not to blow anything of yours from now on.
This left us all wanting to know more about the adventures of Lindsay's freaks and her brother Sam's geeks. But a reboot would certainly fix that, wouldn't it?
I'm not dumb, Lindsay. I know what high people look like. I went to a Seals and Cross concert last summer.
Number 8, MacGyver.
Penny, look out!
Although SNL's MacGruber later parodied the action-adventure TV series, the sketches were not quite as great as the real thing.
I'm under a lot of stress here. I gotta defuse this bomb.
Yes, we long for the days when we could watch the titular action hero use everyday items to fight crime, like the time MacGyver stopped a time bomb with a paperclip, and we wish there could be more.
Don't tell me you know how to make a bomb out of a stick of chewing gum.
Why, you got some?
It'd be hard to find anyone who could match Richard Dean Anderson's impeccable charisma, but we'd be willing to watch someone else try.
It's the best I could do.
It's terrific.
Number 7, Gargoyles.
It was a time of darkness. It was a world of fear. It was the age of gargoyles.
We miss watching animated series with the dark tone and compelling plots of this science fantasy show.
You're going nowhere, Xanatos.
Sorry. Business. You understand.
With the titular characters reawakened as nighttime vigilantes in New York City after a billionaire buys their castle 1,000 years after being frozen in stone, the Gargoyles sure kicked some serious ass.
Face me, human, if you dare.
The subsequent comic books indisputably whet our appetite. But there'd be nothing like seeing Goliath and his clan fight crime in animated form once again.
We are clan, family. We do not abandon each other.
Number 6, Gunsmoke.
Gunsmoke.
This series holds the distinction of being the second Western television program to ever be written for adults.
I'm gonna kill you. You and the doc both.
No, you're not. You don't even deserve Doc being here, Mrs. Pitcher. You don't deserve it at all.
Adapted from the radio drama of the same name that ran between 1952 and 1961. Gunsmoke follows James Arness's Marshal Matt Dillon and Milbert Stone's Doc during the settlement of the American West.
Pitcher, if Doc doesn't come out of this, I'm gonna quit being a marshal and I'm gonna come after you as a plain man. And so help me, I'll kill you.
Becoming America's longest-running primetime live-action drama of the 20th century. The show obviously captured the country's attention span for many years, and 20 seasons to be more exact.
Took her 20 years and a little buckshot, but she finally landed him.
20 years, that's an awful long time.
As the history of the West has fascinated viewers for decades and continues to be brought to screens both big and small over and over again, it's not surprising to think that a modern reboot of this show, if done well, would be extremely successful in the 21st century too.
I gotta hand it to you, Grat. You're the fastest I've ever seen. But you gotta be close. So close you can't miss.
Number 5. Sliders.
What do we do now?
We wish we could travel back in time to when this sci-fi show was being aired. But we'd be content with a 21st century reboot too.
All right, it's in. Let's see if this thing works.
The main characters, including protagonist Quinn Mallory, all have the ability to travel, or slide as the show calls it, between parallel universes, each of which has a different version of Earth.
That's the chaining map of this hellhole for the past 2 weeks.
We can only imagine how much cooler these Sliders adventures would be with modern-day CGI. Number 4. The ATeam.
Here we are, there they are. I love it when a plan comes together.
Though the 2010 big screen adaptation of this series only received mixed reviews.
Give me a minute, I'm good. If I've got an hour, I'm great. You give me 6 months, I'm unbeatable.
The first few seasons of the ATeam allowed NBC to achieve some of its highest ratings in years.
Come on, Face. What happened to all of that eye-hand coordination?
I'm concentrating. Don't rush genius.
Following the titular team of U.S. Army Special Forces members and mercenaries that are on the run for a crime they didn't commit. The show became popular thanks to its action-adventure-based stories and exaggerated violence. And, of course, it had Mr. T.
I stand in awe of the Barracan one.
Got no time for the jibber-jabber.
We'd especially love to see the ATeam brought back to life with a whole new slew of fresh faces, as well as with some solid writing, in the hopes that it would spawn as many catchphrases as this show did in the 1980s.
Why'd you do it? I mean, I just can't figure it out.
Did it for the jazz.
For jazz?
Number 3. Buffy the Vampire Slayer.
I may be dead, but I'm still pretty.
As much as we've enjoyed the Avengers flicks, we wish Joss Whedon would also work on rebooting this amazing show.
Great thing about being a Slayer, kicking ass is comfort food.
The tales of the titular teenager and her allies, known as the Scooby Gang, made for one of the most entertaining series ever to be on TV.
Well, I'm not exactly quaking in my stylish yet affordable boots, but there's definitely something unnatural going on here. And that doesn't usually lead to hugs and puppies.
Since the Supernatural show's unique combination of action, humor, and melodrama went off the air, there hasn't been anything quite like it. Buffy the Vampire Slayer definitely deserves to be brought back from the dead.
A resurrection spell worked like a magic charm. We brought you back to life, Buffy.
Number 2. MASH.
You behave yourself or I'm gonna come back and kick your butt.
This sitcom was one of the most beloved series of all time, and had a finale that broke viewership records. But we think that with an update, it would regain its small screen popularity for sure.
If this keeps up, I was thinking of asking the Army for a raise.
The original followed the adventures of a mobile Army surgical hospital during the Korean War. So in a modern reboot, perhaps its setting could be transported to Iraq or another contemporary conflict.
Lieutenant Colonel, Henry Blake's plane was shot down over the Sea of Japan.
We also think that the absence of a laugh track in the style of many contemporary sitcoms, would benefit MASH's often bleak humor and give us all something more to crack up about.
You got the right instructions, Henry?
I hope so.
I hope so too. Otherwise, I'm going to come back in the next life as a squirrel and run right up your pants leg.
Before we unveil our #1 pick, here are some honorable mentions.
Did you see the sunrise this morning? Yes. Why?
Incoming. Time to clear out. I'm scanning approaching security vehicles, 3 with 2 armed Neos each. Guess we should have gotten permits for the tour. Let's clear out, people.
I'd give anything to see my father and my sister for a few days, to be able to talk with them again, laugh with them, tell them how much I love them. I'd give anything to have what you have, Sam.
#1, Xena, Warrior Princess.
Don't even think of stopping me.
Given the appetite TV audiences have developed for fantasy thanks to Game of Thrones, it'd be great to see this cult action-adventure show slice its way back to the small screen.
I think it's time I put an end to this feud between Caesar and me.
Its slapstick comedy could be replaced by a darker tone, as we think that'd make great characters like Xena and Gabrielle even greater.
Where you go, I'm at your side. I knew you'd say that.
We wouldn't mind even more awesome battles produced with contemporary technology either. Just think of the possibilities of having this warrior princess on the tube again.
Oops.
And yes, while there has been talk of a reboot since 2014, and even NBC chairman Bob Greenblatt stated that a production deal's in the works for a potential 2016 series launch, Lucy Lawless has denied being involved in any way, shape, or form as of mid-2015.
I can't come back.
Do you agree with our list? What classic TV show do you wish would come back?
No one knows for sure, but I intend to find out. Reboot!
For more nostalgic top 10s published every day, be sure to subscribe to WatchMojo.com.
Look, we may have just changed the future. He may still be alive.